Good day, everyone. We are the group for representative of BEED 3C, and I am Clarice Anticar, together with my partner Milchi Coronado, your reporters for today's presentation. Okay na. As what you can see in the screen, this is the model that we made based on the model that Ma'am Napone has given to us about the communicative competencies and multiliteracies. So let us define first the communicative competencies. So when we say communicative competencies, it is the learner's ability to understand and use the language correctly and appropriately to communicate in authentic situations, which means that the learners are able to understand and can communicate effectively and appropriately in a given situation. So, multiliteracies comes from two words, which is multi and literacy. So, multiliteracies, it is the concept of understanding information and the design of meaning through manipulation of individual modes, which implies that there are multiple literacy methods in communication, not only in text. So now that you have already known the basic information about our model, let us now dive into every details of it. As to what you can see at the left and the right corner of our model, there are assessment and feedback. So, assessment and feedback are vital elements of language teaching. It is important to assess the knowledge and understanding of the learners before and after teaching, in order to measure the students' prior knowledge, where they struggle, what are the methods and strategies and approaches that are effective and appropriate for the learners, and whether the specific learning objectives are being met. Also, with feedback, it improves the performance in the classroom and interaction of the learners and teachers. So throughout the learning process, there should always be assessment and feedback. Now, let us proceed to the 6 language teaching principles. So we have here the spiral progression, integration, learner-centeredness, interaction, contextualization, and construction. So these principles explain the natural process of language development. So let us first start with the first one, the spiral progression. So spiral progression means learning a certain knowledge in stages. So basically, it is a method in which the fundamental topics and subjects were repeatedly teaches to the learners with different level of complexity. So as the learners go to a higher level, the level of complexity or difficulty of the subject also increases. So under the spiral progression is understanding culture. It is necessary to understand culture because it is important to take consideration the place or the community of the learners where they come from or grew up, because the context changes when people come from different places, especially that we have a diverse learners. You need to take into account the language, tradition, and the beliefs of the learners into the context in order to better understand what you are teaching to them. So, next from the spiral progression is the integration. So what do we mean when we say integration? Integration means integrating other forms of knowledge from other fields of experiences. It simply means that you integrate other subjects or disciplines to the subject that you are teach. For the learners to learn something else other than the subject that you are being taught. You can do integration using reading, viewing, and responding. That is why, under our integration model, there are reading, viewing, and responding. And as you notice in our model, thinking is always present in every principle. Because as an individual, it is integral for us to comprehend, and you cannot only develop the comprehension skills of learners through reading only, but you can develop it together with the art of questioning, because it is another way in developing the comprehension skills of the students.
Today, I am Malchi and I will discuss the remaining topics. Next one from the integration is the learner-centeredness. Learner-centeredness means that the center of the learning should be the students. Under the learner-centeredness are the processes and strategies. So, the processes and strategies of the teacher and how to deliver the lessons should be in the favor for the students. The processes and strategies should be appropriate in a certain topic that the learners can be able to understand easily the subject matter that are being taught to them. Next to the learner-centeredness is the interaction. Interaction is essential for it to promote active and engaging learning environment. It spells out how knowledge is shared and how knowledge also absorbed. So, there are three types of interaction. The first one is the teacher-student interaction, which both students and teachers are interacting. So, it has a positive role in mobilizing the classroom atmosphere, guiding students to form correct learning attitude. The second one is the student-content interaction. It is where students interact with the content. It allows the student to interpret, watch, read, and understand the content. Lastly, the student-student interaction. It is an interaction happening to student-student, where both students are interacting and gaining knowledge from one another. Usually, it comes from group activities where students are given chance to talk and work together to collaborate with each other. Under the interaction, there is a writing and representing. So, the connection with these two interaction is that interaction can be happened through oral or written. It could be in a form of writing or representation, which are both help learners to improve their socialization skills. Next one to interaction is the contextualization. Contextualization helps the students learn language skills by teaching the skills using the authentic context in which students must use those skills in the real world. It means giving examples relevant or relatable for students that they could easily understand the context. So, under it is the understanding language. As what we have mentioned in the previous principles, it is vital to take into consideration where your students come from or their community and their language in order for your students to better understand the context of the subject that you are teaching. Lastly, the construction. It is when you construct knowledge from the previous or pre-existing knowledge that you have. So under the construction is the listening, speaking, and viewing. It is a scaffolding for the learners to be able to reach their full cognitive, affective, and psychomotor potentials. So, if you like to construct knowledge, you need to listen attentively, share your new knowledge that you formed, and demonstrate it. So, those are the 6 language teaching principles: the spiral progression, integration, learner-centeredness, interaction, contextualization, and construction. And if you notice in our model, we highlight the 3 major applications of the macro skills of the language in yellow color, which are the understanding cultures, processes and strategies, and understanding language. Learning language should focus on guiding students make meaning through language for different purposes on a range of topics and with a variety of audience. That is why the center of our model still remain on the making meaning through language. And that's all for today. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you.